The night she told me she wasn't coming with me, something inside me snapped. Not violently, not with shouting, just a quiet, clean fracture, like ice cracking under weight. We were sitting on the living room floor, surrounded by boxes I'd spent the past week packing. She hadn't touched a single one. "I'm not moving to that boring town, Mark," she said, sipping her wine as casually as if we were talking about what movie to watch. "You know, I'd hate it there. No friends, no nightlife, nothing to do. I'd die of boredom." I studied her face, searching for even a flicker of guilt, but there was none. Just that casual shrug that said she'd made this decision long before telling me. "It's a good offer," I said quietly. "A real one. They're giving me a promotion, higher salary, and a house allowance. It's everything we talked about." She laughed softly, shaking her head. "You wanted that. I didn't. I love our life here. I love our life." The words echoed in my mind, and for the first time, I realized how differently we defined them. For weeks, she'd been distant, more glued to her phone, staying late with work friends, dismissing any talk of the move. I told myself it was stress. Change is hard. But deep down, I knew it was more than hesitation. When I left for the new job 2 weeks later, she didn't even come to the station. Just a quick hug at the door and a hollow, "We'll talk soon." The drive was long. 6 hours of gray skies and winding roads. By the time I reached the new town, the silence felt heavier than loneliness. The town wasn't flashy, but it had life in a quieter, deeper way. Old brick buildings, a small downtown cafe smelling of roasted beans and cinnamon, friendly faces that smiled without suspicion. I rented a small apartment overlooking the river while waiting for the house paperwork to finalize. It wasn't much, but it was peaceful, a feeling I hadn't known in years. I called her every night that first week. Sometimes she answered, sometimes she didn't. When she did, her tone was rushed, distracted. "Yeah, things are fine here. Just busy, you know." Once, I asked if she thought about visiting. She laughed. "What would I even do there? Watch cows? Count mailboxes?" The word stung more than I wanted to admit. 2 months passed before I stopped expecting her calls. By then, the new job had taken off. My boss, Grant, introduced me to a friend who ran a small real estate firm. "You should buy instead of rent. Prices here are crazy. You'll double your investment in a year." I didn't believe him at first. But 3 months later, the market exploded. The quiet town she mocked became a gold mine. The house I bought for $180,000 was suddenly worth over $400,000. My phone started buzzing nonstop with agents wanting to make offers. That's when she called again. "Hey, stranger," she said one night, her voice sweet, carefully measured, the same tone I used to mistake for love. "How's your little adventure going?" "Good," I said. "Really good." "That's great," she replied. "I was thinking maybe I should come visit, see what all the fuss is about." I almost laughed. "You said it was boring." "Well, maybe I was wrong," she said lightly. "You can show me around. We could reconnect." Reconnecting sounded nice in theory, but her timing was too convenient. She didn't call when I was lonely. She called when I was successful. Still, I said yes. When she arrived, I picked her up from the station. She looked the same. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect act. But something felt off, forced. Her eyes scanned the town, shops, restaurants. I could almost see her calculating everything. "So, this is a boring place," she said, giving me that practice laugh. I admit it was a little cute. That night, we ate at the River Cafe. She told stories about work, but every time her phone buzzed, she turned it face down. Old habits. Same lies. Later, in my living room, she walked her fingers up my arm. Maybe I was too quick to judge. Maybe I should have trusted you more. "Maybe," I said. She leaned closer, warmth and perfume tempting. I wanted to believe it was real again. Then her phone lit up. Reflex made me glance. A message flashed. Did he buy it? Can't wait till this is over. The world tilted. I looked from her to the phone, back at her fake smile. "Who's that?" I asked. She froze, then grabbed the phone. "No one. Just a friend." Friend, I said quietly. What's his name? Her silence answered everything. I stood, heart hammering. You came here for the money, didn't you? Her lips parted. Mark, that's not. Save it, I said. You called me boring. You called this town dead. And now you want in because it's worth something. Tears welled in her eyes, but they looked rehearsed. That's not fair. I made a mistake. Who's he? I asked again. No answer. I walked to the door, opened it. Get out, Mark, she said, lip trembling in that way she always did when begging for forgiveness. Go back to your fun life, I said. This boring town doesn't need you. She hesitated, then left. I stayed still long after the door clicked shut. The air felt heavy, thick with all I'd refused to see before. Weeks later, a short text. You really sold the house for $400,000? I didn't respond. A month later, I learned through a mutual friend that she'd lost her job. The man she'd been seeing left when he realized she didn't have the money she promised him. I should have felt vindicated. I didn't. I just felt tired. Sometimes I'd drive past that cafe, watching couples sit by the river where we once ate. I think about how love twists into something unrecognizable when ambition and pride take over. She called this place boring, said life here would suffocate her. Funny thing is, in this quiet town, surrounded by honest people, I finally learned how to breathe again. And her boring rejection, it became part of my peace.